So in the last class, that is class 1, we have discussed about introduction of Python part 1. Okay, so where we have discussed about how this Anaconda works, what are the different types of languages that we have. Then we have discussed about high level language, low level language, which one we use, which one machine uses. And then we have discussed that why Python is the best programming language. And there are the 8 reasons that we have discussed in details. Okay, and then we have discussed something called as identifiers. So identifier is nothing but it is a name given to a variable, function, or a class. But now you can give any name of your choice. But the only thing is you have to follow all the 6 rules that I have written here. Okay, so if you are following all the 6 rules, then you can write any name of your choice. And then, yeah, so I think identifier was the last. So in today's topic, we will see something called as data types in Python. Now, data types are basically of 2 types. First one is fundamental data type, and second one that we have is called as derived data type. Fundamental data types are those data types which are very basic. Okay, so fundamental data type is also called as basic data type. Examples are integer, float, string, bool, complex, none. Okay, as the name suggests, it is a very basic data type. So these kind of data types are not derived from any other. These are the unique. These are the individual data types that we have, or rather, let's go basic data type that we have. Okay. Then we have something called as derived data type. In derived data type, the meaning of it is derived from the fundamental data types. Examples: list, tuple, set, then dictionary, then range. So these are few of the derived data types that we will be having. Now, in this Python course, what we are doing for a special class, I will be only teaching you about fundamental data types, because derived data type, each topic itself will take 1 day each. Okay, so this derived data types will be taught you in the main class that you have. So for time being, what we'll do is we will try to only study about the fundamental data type. So at least you have an idea what a fundamental data type will be. Okay, so the first one that we're gonna see is integer data type. So integer data type is nothing but any value that can be written without a decimal point. Okay, any value without a decimal point is called as an integer data type. For example, 100, 200, minus 9999, 999. So if you see these numbers, what we have, 100, 200, minus 999, and 99, these are the integer data type, because these are the numbers without a decimal points. Okay, so A is equal to 10. So this 10 is an integer data type that we have it. Okay, so what we are doing is we are saving this A. We are that is integer 10 in A. Okay, so what will be the data type of A? So yesterday, if you remember, I have told you that there's something called as dynamically typed language. So in Python, we don't have to tell prior only that, okay, this variable will contain integer or a float or stuff like that. No, you just assign the value. Depending on which value you are assigning, it will automatically decide that which data type it will be. So A is equal to 10. So if I do print of A and execute it, the answer is 10. Okay. Now, is there any function to check the data type of a variable? Because every time we cannot believe the output, right? See, what can happen in the real-time scenario is, right now we know that we are assigning A to 10. But let's say this value is A is coming from somewhere else. And we want to check what is the data type of A. So every time we cannot print and see. Why? Because see this. Any difference in the output that you can see? Correct. So now what you will say, this is a integer data type that we have. No, that's wrong, right? A is a string data type. So we always cannot decide based on the output that which data type it is. Okay. So it is always and always good practice to see the type of it. So using a type function. Okay. So it is always and always useful to make a confirmation about it. Now, to make a confirmation that what is the data type of a particular variable, we have something called as type function to check the data type of the value slash variable. For whichever you want to see, you can see here. There will be no problems. Okay. For example, let's say for this one, if I want to see the data type of A, so the simple thing what I have to do is in a next print statement, I will write type of A. So type is a function name, and inside this bracket, for whichever value you want to find out the data type, you have to write here. Okay, for whichever value you are finding the data type, you have to write here. Now, if I execute it, see, this 10 is the output of this. Now, the output of this is class of int. So for a time being, ignore this class. Okay, for a time being, ignore this class. What the class is, the only thing that you have to focus is on this part. So now what it's showing is, it's showing that type of A is an integer data type. Okay, so this type function will tell you what is the data type of a variable. Let's take the second scenario. And this is a string data type that we. Okay, this is a string data type that we have, and this is called as an integer data type. So integer data type is nothing but any value without a decimal point. As simple as that. Okay. The next one that we have is float data type. So any value with a decimal point is called as, okay, any value with a decimal point is called as floating point number. Example, minus 999.0, minus 9999.999, 100, 200, 300, 0.45. This will be also 0.56. This will be 0.67. Okay, so any value with a decimal point is called as floating data type. For example, A is equal to 100.0. A is equal to 100.0. So if I print that A, you will see output as 100.0. But if we want to confirm this, we can do print type of A and execute it. You will see class as float. You will see class as float. And this is what you called as floating point numbers. Then we have something called as string data type. Anything that can be written inside a single quotes, anything that can be written inside a double quotes, anything that can be written inside a triple single quotes, and anything that can be written inside a triple double quotes are called as string. Again, I will repeat, anything that can be written inside a single quotes, double quotes, single triple quotes, and double triple quotes are called as a string. For example, A is equal to of sun. Okay, and if I do print of A and execute it, answer is of sun. If I do print, if I want to check actually the type of A, so I will do type of A and execute it, and the answer is str. Okay. Now A, so I'm writing two things now. Let me write it first. Python. Okay, so for all the three, if I execute it, the answer is same. The answer is Python, Python, Python. There is no difference in the answer as you can see on the screen right now. So my simple question is, if all the three is giving me the same output, what is the point of giving different variations then? You can keep only one single variation, right? Why you have double quotes and triple single quotes? Why? Anyone has an answer for that? Again, I will repeat. My simple question is, if all the variations is single quotes, double quotes, and triple quotes, I have written Python, Python, Python. If I execute it, all the three is giving me the same output, right? Then what is the point of writing the different variations? Why they're confusing us? Why don't they keep only one variation for us? That's my question. Simple question. No, Mihir. See, data type is a string only, right? So if you write anything inside a single quotes, double quotes, data will be same only, right, for all the three. Okay, just for a proof, I will show you type of A. Okay, this one will be B and this one will be C. If you execute it, the data types are same. Say string, string, string. Okay. Now the simple answer for this is, think about English language. Think about English language. So how the Python works? Let me explain about that. So when you do A is equal to in single quotes, when you do Python, okay, in a single quotes, when you do Python, so what happens is Python sees this particular single quote. Okay, so when the Python see the single quotes, the job of this Python is to find out the next single quotes. So what it does is it keeps on scanning it. Okay, not found, not found, not found, not found, not found, not found, not. Oh, I found it. So this particular thing is a string that we have, because you are starting with a single quotes and ending with single quotes. Okay. Now let's think about English alphabets now. Okay, English sentences that we can write. So I can write that this is Python's class, like this. This is Python's class. Now what will happen in this scenario is, you are starting with single quotes. Okay, so what is the job of Python? The job of the Python is to search the next single quotes. So if you see this, it will search here, not found, not found, not found, not found, not found. So it will keep on searching and it will found the single quotes here. So what your Python will think is, your Python will think, okay, this one is the string that I have, and rest of the part I don't know, but this part is a string that I know. So what will happen in that case? In that case, this will become a syntax error, because is this any kind of data type, guys? What I have highlighted, is this any kind of data type? If I cut this and paste like this, is this any kind of data type that we have? Does this follow under integer or a float or a boolean or a string data type? If you see, no, right? So this will give an error. It will say, okay, I don't know about this. I know about this, but I don't know about this part. So in that scenario, Python will give an error that will be invalid syntax, because something is wrong here. Okay, so the problem here is, what if your string has a quotes inside it? Then it will be a problem. To solve that scenario, what we have is, we have something called as double quotes. So the same thing can be written in double quotes now. Okay, and execute it. You will see this is printed as a string now. So it is starting with a double quotes. Now the job of the Python is to search for next double quotes. So when Python will see this, it will ignore it, because it is not his friend. So the job of this is to search for his friend, and his friend is found at the last. So if I execute it, this is the answer that you get, guys. So now it's clear that why we have two different ways, single quotes and double quotes, everyone. In chat screen, I want the answer from everyone. It's clear? Great. Now we know about this. Then why we have this third part? Now, when you are using single, triple quotes or double quotes, then you can write something called as multi-line string. What I mean by saying that is, let's say in a variable, you want to write some kind of poem. Okay, so let's say twinkle, twinkle, little star. Okay. Now, what I'm doing is, in the next line, what I'm doing is, I want to write the second part of the verse. I want to write the second part of the verse. Now, the problem with single quotes is that you cannot write a multi-string here. You cannot write a multi-string. For example, let's say I'm writing something like this. Okay, sorry. So let's say I'm writing something like this, twinkle twinkle little star, and in the next line, what I'm doing is I'm writing the second line of it. So okay, now the problem with this is, when you want to write a multiple lines and you want to save in a variable, you cannot use a single quotes or double quotes. If you try to do it and print the value of a, it will give an error that is called a syntax error. So whenever you want to write a multiple line, you have to use a triple quotes. Either it can be a single triple quotes or it can be a double triple quotes. But yes, you have to use a triple quote like this and execute it. Once you execute it, see, you can see this in a two different lines. So the simple answer is, we have different ways to tackle the different scenarios that we have. So all the scenarios is clear to everyone. So integer type, float type, and string data type. These three data types are clear to each one of you. If anyone has a doubt, please raise your hand, or if anyone has a doubt, please ask. There is no doubt, then you can write clear in the chat screen box, then I will move to the next part. So there are 12 participants. I need answer from all the 11 that I have. Perfect. Okay, great. Now what we'll do is we will try to move to the next data type. The next data type that we have is Boolean data type. Okay, Boolean data type. So if I scroll down and if I write here Boolean data type. So this data type, I think everyone knows about it. So Boolean means two values. Okay, Boolean means two values. So either true or false. So if I write any variable is equal to true and print a of it, you will get a true data type. See, that is a Boolean data type. And if you want to confirm it, you can just do print type of a and execute it, and you will see it's a Boolean data type. So in a simple words, Boolean data types are in a form of true and false. So it can be either true or it can be either false. And these are called as Boolean data type. Okay, so copy, paste. If you write false here, it is a Boolean data type. See? So very sweet, very simple. There is no hard, there is no tough part about this. Then we have complex data type. Anything that can be written in the form of a plus bj, where a is the, anyone knows about it? So complex data type. So it's a mathematical concept, guys. Okay, so anything that can be written in a form of a plus bj, where a is the real part and b is the imaginary part. Okay, guys. So this is the mathematical concept. Okay, this is not a concept of Python. This is a concept of maths. So, for example, if you're writing a is equal to 10 plus 7j, and if I do print of a, so see, it's a complex data type. How to confirm it? Very simple. Print type of a and execute it. It's a complex data type that we have. It's a complex data type that we have. So simple, any value that can be written in the form of a plus bj. So if you see a is what? A is 10 here. And bj is what? Bj is 7j. Okay, so a is called as a real part and b is called as a imaginary part. Now, if you want to extract the real and the imaginary part from this, you can do that also. How? So you can just do print the variable which is storing this complex data type. So a dot real, execute it, you will get the real part. On the same lines, a dot imaginary, you will get the imaginary part. So from a particular variable which is storing the data type, you can easily get a real part and an imaginary part. So this is called as a complex data type. Last but not the least, we have something called as null. So in other languages, you have studied about null data type, N-U-L-L, null data type, right? The same thing is in Python, but with a different name. So none, if suppose you want to take a value and you don't want to give any value to that variable a, you decided that okay, for a time being I will assign it, but later I will assign the value to it. So in the starting phase, what you can do is you can do NOND. So the meaning of this is you are giving a null value to a. So if you do print of a executed, the answer is none. And if you do print type of A executed, the answer is none type. Okay, so these are the different fundamental data types that we have. Okay, so if this is clear to each one of you, let me give you few things here, and you have to tell whether it's a, and you have to tell which data type it follows under. So okay, so I have given you 15 data types here. Okay, so you have to tell that, okay, this is float, this is integer, this is string, and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm giving you 2 minutes. Give me the answer of this. How you will give me the answer? So you can give me the comma separate answer. So 1 is float, 2 is string, like this you can give me, or however you want to give me, you can give me, but give in a single message only. Don't try to give different messages. Okay, so go ahead guys, give me the answer of this quickly. So very simple. The first one that we have is a integer. Second one that we have, guys, second one that we have, it is error. Do we have any data type like this? See, if you're saying string, then it should be inside any type of quotes, right? Is there any kind of quotes here? So this is error. Okay, so second one is error. This is not any type of data type. Okay, third one is string. This one is also string. This one is also string. This one is bool. This one is again bool. This one is again error. This one is again error. This one is string. This one is also str. This is also str. This is also str. This is float, and this is float. So guys, this is the answer of the question that I've asked. All right, great. So now the next topic that we will move to is operations in Python. Okay, so the first operation that we have in Python, the first operation that we have in Python is called as arithmetic operation. Okay, arithmetic operations. So arithmetic operation, does anyone knows which are the operations that we have in arithmetic? What are the different operations? So we have a plus sign, that is for addition. We have minus, that is for subtraction. We have star, that we use for multiplication, and then we have slash, that we use for division. Okay, so these are the basics ones that we have. But in Python or a programming language, we have more kinds of arithmetic operations. The other that we have is, you have something called as percentage. Percentage is nothing but, it is called as modulo. Okay, it is called as modulo. Then we have something called as double slashes. We have single slash and we have a double slash. So the single slash means that it's a float division. And this double slash that we have, it is a float division. Okay, so this is float, F-L-O-A-T, and this is float. And the last one that we have is 2 star, and that stands for exponent. So these are the different arithmetic operations that we have in Python. Let's take an example of this. Okay, let's take an example of this. For example, print 10 plus 20. Output will be 30 because you're adding two numbers. Very straightforward. 10 plus 20, you have been learning this since childhood, that how to add a number. Execute it, the answer is 30. Print 100 plus minus 60. If I execute it, the answer will be 40 because we are subtracting the numbers. As simple as that. Copy. Oh, sorry, not this part. I will copy this, paste here, and I will do here 10 into 10. Execute it, and the answer is 100. Okay, so because we know how to multiply it, and we have something called as, let's say, 10 divided by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, correct? But it is called as a float division. The meaning of float division is, that it doesn't matter if it's a perfect division or not. Okay, it does not matter if it's a perfect division or not. The answer will be always in floating data type. The answer will be always in a float data type. So if I execute it, see, the answer is not 5, the answer is 5.0. So irrespective of whether it's a proper division or not, the answer will be always and always in a floating data type. That's the meaning of float division. Okay. On the same lines, we have something called as float division. Okay, float division. So again, this floor, it is a concept of mathematics. So let me show you with the help of a diagram. Okay, see this diagram, right hand side. Okay, so this diagram, what we have. So let's say we have a number line and your point is lying somewhere here, 2.4. Okay, so the floor of that value will be 2. And the ceiling of that value will be 3. So right now we are not focusing about the ceiling value. We have to just focus about the floor value. So any number that you have in a number line, let's say 2.4, any number that you have, the previous best integer number that you can see, that is 2, that is called as a float point number. Again, let's say if my number is, let's say here 3.999. 3.99. So what will be the floor value of 3.99? Okay, so the floor value will be 3. So see, the floor function calculates the largest integer not greater or equal to a number. So the largest integer that you have is 3, right? Which is not equal to or greater than a particular number. So this is what you call as floating data. This is what you call as floor division. So if I come here to this cell again, clear, yeah. So the output of this will be 5. If I do something like this, 3, then what will be the output of this? Excellent. It will be 3. Last but no, it's not last. I think we have something called as modulo also, right? So modulo is very simple. Now this type of operation gives you the quotient, right? Where you're getting the answer. that 3 into 3 is 9 and stuff like that. But what if I want to know the remainder? So to know the remainder, you have something called as modulo. So print 10 modulo 3. So this will give a remainder. So if this gives a remainder, what will be the output of this? The output of this will be 1. So if I execute it, the output is 1. Okay. Now the last one that we have is exponent. So let's say you want to find out 2 raised to 10. Okay, you want to find out 2 raised to 10. So what we should do, we write 2 and on the superscript we write as 10, right? The same thing if you want to achieve with the help of programming, what you have to do is you have to do 2 star and 10 and execute it. And the answer is 1024. So let's say you want to write 10 raised to 4. So you can write 10, 2 star and 4. So this is equivalent to 10 raised to 4. So if I execute it, the answer will be 1000. So these are the different arithmetic operations that we have. Okay. The next one that we have is a comparison operator. Is a comparison operator. So in the comparison operator, what we have to do is very simple. So you know about this already. So we have something called as more than, we have something called as less than, we have something called as more than equal to, and we have something called as less than equal to. Okay. But in the comparison operator, there are few things that you guys have to notice. The first thing is it always returns the output in the form of Boolean data type. It will always return the output in a form of Boolean data type. Okay. The second thing that you have to notice is that comparison operator is only applicable on integer versus integer data type. It is applicable on float versus integer data type. It is applicable on float versus float. It is applicable on string versus string. That's it. Okay, it is only applicable on these variations only. So for example, let's say A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 20. You are doing print A is less than 10. Sorry, A is less than B. So what I'm writing here is, my simple statement is the value of A is less than the value of B. So my statement is about true or false. The value of A is less than the value of B. So my statement is what, true or false? Exactly the same thing will be given by Python also. So the job of the Python is just to tell you, yes, you are correct, no, you are wrong. So if I execute it, the answer is true. So yes, you are true here. Okay. Print A is more than equal to B. But A and B I will change a little bit. What do you think about this? Okay. So if I execute it, the answer is true. That yes, the value of A is more than or equal to B. Okay, so either it can be more or equal to B. So yes, that is true. Okay. What will be the answer of this? So if I write print A is more than B, what will be the answer of this? So when you are saying true or false, I want to know the answer why you are saying true or false. What is the reason behind that? That's the thing I want to know actually. Okay, I can see guys are giving true or false. but I want to know the answer on what basis you are telling it will be true or false. That I want to know. Okay, so the one answer that Mihir is saying is that based on the length we decide. Okay, so based on the length we decide. Okay. So Mithila is also saying the same thing based on the length. Okay, based on the length. Birds are not okay. So Aditya is also saying the length part. Okay. Okay. Anyone with the any other answer? Okay, great. So Ratina is saying that it depends on the ASCII values. Okay. This is the second answer that I've got. Okay, so let's try to prove this first one wrong. Okay. So you have told me that it depends on the length. Great. Let's try to remove this part. Okay, so if I execute it, the answer is false. But now if I also execute it, the answer is false. But still, if you see, the length has been changed, right? So second length is less than the first one. Still the answer is false. Okay, so this part is wrong. It does not depend on the length. Second one is the correct one, guys. Second one is the correct one that we have. So it depends on the ASCII value. Simple, what it will do is character by character, it will try to calculate the ASCII value. So what is the ASCII value of A? Quickly tell me. I have told you the table, I have given you a table. What is the ASCII value of A? It is 97. What is the ASCII value of T? So this is for A. What is for T? ASCII value. So if I search here ASCII table and I execute it. So T is 116. 116. Now it will actually compare these two numbers now. So when the first characters are different, this is A and this is T. So it will try to compare the ASCII value and it will try to judge whether it's a greater than or less than. So now tell me A, so what you're claiming here? You're claiming that the value of A is more than the value of B. But wait, 97 is not more than 116, right? So that's why the answer is false. That's why the answer is false. Okay. In this scenario also, it will check the first character. It will check the first character. And based on the first character only, it will decide whether it's a true or false. Let's take one more example. Copy this, paste here. If I write here, okay, if I write here Amit. So what will happen in this scenario is, first it will try to see the first character. So the first character that we have is same, right? When the first character is same and we cannot decide which one is more than or which one is less than, then it will move to the second character. Then it will check the second character. Now, based on the ASCII value of the second character, it will tell you whether it's a true or false. So again, if you execute it, the answer will be false. But let's say if I change this, if I do less than, the answer becomes true. So the point here is that when you try to do the comparison between the string, it is done with the help of ASCII values. And this is what we mean by comparison operators. Any doubts? Anything you guys want to ask? Please go ahead. Okay, great. So we have seen about the comparison operator. The next operator that we have is equality operator. An equality operator is nothing but equal to or not equal to. Okay. So now guys, let me tell you one thing. In the internet, if you search for comparison operator, many people will mention equal to and not equal to as also a comparison operator. Okay, that's also totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Why I treat it as a different operation is because of a little bit different property. So the first property is same, that it returns the Boolean value. Returns the Boolean value, but it can work on any data type. Okay, on the top we have a restriction that okay, we can only perform between these and these data types, because in the comparison operator we have to tell which value is more and which value is less, correct? In the equality operator we don't have such restrictions. Why? Because in the equality operator your job is just to tell you that whether they are equal or not equal, as simple as that. The job of the equality operator is not to tell you whether it is more than or less than. No, the job of the equality operator is just to tell you that whether the two values are same or not, as simple as that. Because of this property I treat equality operator as a different operator. Okay, but in the notebooks, in a lot of topics, you can see that equality operator is a part of a comparison operator. So don't get confused. Okay, the only thing is, in a comparison operator we have some restrictions on the data type, but in equality we don't have any restrictions. What I mean by saying that is, a is equal to Afsan and b is equal to 10. So the job of the equality operator is just to tell you whether these two are same or not. That's it. Print a is equal to b. So what I'm claiming here, that the value of a is equal to the value of b. So if I execute it, false, because the value is not equal to 10, right? So the answer is false. If I write, let's say this is equal to Afsan, and this I'm writing as not equal to. So what I'm claiming here, that the value of a is not equal to the value of b. So my statement is true or false? The value of a is not equal to the value of b. So my statement is false. So the output of this will be also false. So this is what we have, something called as equality operators. Equality operator. Okay. The next operator that we have is something called as logical operators. Okay, logical operators. So for a logical operator, what you guys have to do is you guys have to remember a few tables. Okay, if you understand that table, then logical operator will be very clear to you guys. So logical operators are of three types. So there is something called as AND operator, there is something called as OR operator, and there is something called as NOT operator. So to understand this AND, OR, and NOT, so you guys have to understand few tables. So first table is AND truth table. Okay, so this is a table that you guys have to understand. Yes. So the first table that we have is called as AND truth table. So in AND truth table, A and B. Okay, A and B. So before starting it, let me tell you one more thing. Okay, so we have talked about Boolean data type, right? So Boolean data type true can be also represented as, anyone knows the answer? True can also be written as true can be also be written as 1 and false is also written as 0. Remember this, okay? So in the programming world, true is equivalent to 1 and false to 0. Okay. So when you have two variable A and B, Y will be the output of it. For example, for the AND operation, if we have A is equal to true, let's say true, and B is equal to false, A and B, what will be the answer of A and B, guys? See the table and give me the answer. What will be the answer of A and B? So A is equal to true, B is equal to false. See the combination of 1 and 0. So 1 0 1, this is 1 and 0 combination. So when you do A and B, that is 1 and 0, the answer is 0, that is false. So the output of this will be false. So the point here is, if you understand this table now, all the four tables, if you understand, the logical operation will be very, very easy. So you have to by heart this table. If you by heart this table, then the logical operator will be very easy. In the same now, what I will do is, what if, let's say, again I'm writing here, A is equal to B, sorry, A is equal to true, that is 1, B is equal to false, that is 0. A and B. What will be the answer of this? So when A is 0 and when B is 0, Y is also 0. So answer of this is 0. Okay, so guys, you have to remember this table, okay? There is nothing much I can say here. You have to remember this table. So when I used to be in engineering days, I used to remember by some rote learning kind of stuff. Okay. So in the AND table, I always remember that AND means multiplication or means plus. I always used to remember like this. Why like this? Because if you multiply this 0 into 0, the answer is 0. 1 into 0, the answer is 0. 1 into 0, the answer is 0, and 1 into 1, the answer is 1. Similarly, if you add it, you will get the same answer. Okay, so this was my way of learning it. You can find out your way of learning, but the point at the end of the day is you have to remember this table, guys. If this table is clear, then your topic will be clear. On the same lines, we have something called as XOR truth table and not truth table. In logical operator, we don't have anything called as XOR. Okay, we don't call anything called as XOR. So we have only AND, OR, and NOT. NOT is very easy. Whatever you write here, opposite will be the answer. For example, if you write true, if you write false, the answer will be true. So these are the logical operators that we have. So let's go to the programming screen again. So if I do, if for AND operation, if I do true and true, what is the answer of this? True and true? It will be true. What about true and false? It is false. False and false. False. Okay. What is false and true? The answer is false. Okay. Then we have something called as OR table. So what I will do is I will copy this. I will paste here. True or true is true. True or false is also true. False or false is false, and false or true is true. Okay, and then we have something called as not operator. So not, okay, so we have something called as not of A. So not of true is nothing but it is false, and not of false, it is called as true. You guys have to just remember this. If you remember this, then this logical operator will be clear to you. For example, if I do print true and false, the answer will be false. Okay, if I do not of true, the answer will be false, because not of true is what? The answer is false. If I do, let's say this, false or true, what will be the answer of this, guys? So false or true is nothing but true. Okay, so this is what you mean by logical operator, guys. So guys, till now, whatever I have explained you in today's class is clear to each one of you till logical operators. Okay. Now, so the last topic for today will be comments in Python. Okay, so this comments in Python. So first, let's try to understand. Will you please explain equality operator? Yes, of course, Aditya, I will do that. So see, equality operator, if I come here. So the first thing is equality operator. We have two types of operator. One is equal to, one is not equal to. Okay. In an equality operator, the return statement, the output of the equality operator will be always either true or false. So whether it is an answer or it is not an answer. Okay. The only difference in equality and the comparison is in the equality operator, it can work on any data type, because at the end of the day, you have to just tell that whether they are equal or not. That's it. So as the name says, equality. Whether the variable A is equal to B or not, that's the only job of the equality operator. Okay, Nitya? So for example, if I'm writing here, A is equal to 11.0 and B is equal to, I'm writing 11.4. So these two values are same or different, Aditya? This question is to you. If I tell you compare 11.0 and 11.4, and if I tell you that print A is equal to B, so the value of A is equal to the value of B. So my statement is what? True or false? False, right? Exactly the same thing will be the output of the equality operator. So the job of the equality operator is just to tell you whether you are correct or basically the value of the variables are same or not. That's it. Now, the last topic for today is we have something. So why we need comments? That's the first question, right? So comments, it can make code more readable. Second, it can make code more understandable. Third, it can be used to prevent the execution of the code. Okay, it can be used to prevent the execution of the code. So let's try to understand each one of them in details. Okay, so now first of all, what is a comment? Comment is something which we can write in the coding shell, but Python will ignore it. What I mean by saying that is, if you want to write a comment in a coding shell, you have to put a hash, and after that, whatever you want to write, you can write of your choice. So whenever Python sees this hash, it will ignore it. Okay, that is called as comment. Let's try to understand the importance of comment. So let's say pi is equal to 3.14. A is equal to let's say an r is equal to 6, and a is equal to r square. If I do print of a, okay, so what this area is, this area is of what? What I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to calculate the area of, okay. So people who are saying that this is the area of circle, then what is the area of square? So Aditya, this is that only, right? R square is what? R into R only, right? If you see technically. Okay. So guys, now see this. This style of coding made everyone confused there right now, right? So that is a bad programming. That is called as a bad programming. So now the same thing I will write with the help of comment. Okay, so the same thing, copy and paste. I will write here, let's say, area of square, value of pi, side of square, area of square. Now, if I give you this code and if I give you this code, which code is more self-explainable? First one or second one? And that's what you mean by it can make code more readable. So now your code is more readable. So the third person has not to explain you anything about what this code is doing. Based on the comments only, you will automatically understand that what this particular thing is doing. Okay, it makes code more understandable. So now you are able to understand the code more easily. So compare this and compare this. So this is a use of comment that we have. Okay, so these, like point number 1 and point number 2 has been explained automatically to you with the help of the comparison that we have done. Point number 3. Let's say you have a is equal to 10, you have b is equal to 20, and you have c is equal to 30. If I want to print all the 3 numbers, what I will do is I will do print a, print b, and I will do print c. Okay, I will do print a, print b, and print c. So if I execute it, the answer is 10, 20, and 30. But let's say I don't want to execute this line. So if you don't want to execute this line, just comment this out. So this part will not be executed. So this part is not executed. So the answer will be only print A and print C. Executed, answer is 10 and 30. So you can take advantage and you can print the statement like this also. Okay, you can print the statement like this also. Let's take one more example. let's say I don't want to execute B and C. I don't want Python to execute B and C. So if I comment this out, so only this part will be executed, because when Python see this hash, okay, when Python see this hash, so these two parts will be ignored. Okay, so if I execute it, the answer is 10. The answer is 10. So this is how comments can be used in Python, guys. This is how comments can be used in Python. Okay, great.